Hello my kitchenettes and welcome to David's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making another vegan dish, another vegan dessert. I'm going to make a vegan cheesecake with cherry and chocolate chips. So wish me luck and let's see how this one's going to turn out. The first thing we need to do is make a faux graham cracker crust. So in here I have 250 grams of flour. I'm actually using half oat flour to get a nice nutty taste to it, almost like an oatmeal cookie, and half regular flour. To that, I'm adding 60 grams of coconut and palm sugar and a pinch of salt, just to kind of give it a little puff of flavor. The little salt really helps bring out the flavors of the other ingredients. And finally, 110 grams of melted vegan butter. As I said before, I really love to use the vegan butter sticks. I guess it's something that I'm familiar with, and it reminds me of using real butter, and I have a little bit more comfort level using the vegan butter sticks. But you know, you could also actually use oil if you want to. And I just put this in a bowl, and I am using a fork to mix it together, and it's going to end up coming out pretty crumbly, which is going to be fine. And what we're going to end up doing is just pushing it into the buttered dish. Actually, it's not buttered, it has some canola oil on it. And we'll push that into the pie plate and we will go ahead and bake it in the oven. Now, the oven, that's another story. My air conditioner broke and it's 91 degrees in Los Angeles today. Lucky me. But the show must go on, so I am using, voila, my toaster oven to go ahead and make this vegan cheesecake for you. So I am suffering for you today. We'll be back in a few. Okay, my kitchenette, so what we've done now is we have our crumb mixtures. You can see it almost looks like a graham cracker kind of crust. It's definitely very crumbly. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this whole bowl of it into our, this is like a good 9 or 10 inch pie pan. It's, you know, your standard Pyrex fluted pie dish. And just kind of with your hand, I always use one hand dirty, one hand clean. So go ahead and just start pushing this into the bottom. Make sure you're turning it, bringing it up to make the crust along the sides. And the other thing that you could use a glass if you want to kind of help you thin out the crust a little bit, or the palm of your hand. But as you can see, we basically have this done already. It only takes a couple minutes. It's one of the things I love about a no-roll crust is that, you know, who needs to worry about the flour and the rolling pin and the rolling board? It's so great just to use one of these no-roll crust and you know, gently fit it into your pan. So this is done. We're going to go ahead and pop this into the oven for probably about 15 minutes, and it's at 350 degrees. Hello, my kitchenettes. The kitchen is smelling really great. What's that sound? That's my favorite sound. Let's go check the toaster oven, but the kitchen is smelling really great with the smell of the crust that we're making for our vegan cheesecake. And this is actually the first time I'm using my toaster oven to actually bake something in it, and this just came out perfect. Oh, it's nice and, you know, toasted. It smells that oat flour really gave it a nice nutty texture and smell that I can see that we're looking at here. So let's go make the filling and get this back in the oven. Hello, my kitchenettes. Now it's time to make the filling for our cheesecake, our vegan cheesecake. And like many of the vegan recipes, it's real easy because you just throw everything in the blender and zip it up. So in here already, I have 2 8-ounce packages of vegan cream cheese. To that, I'm adding 3/4 of a cup of sugar. I am adding a half a cup of coconut cream. Basically, I took a can of coconut milk and scooped the cream off the top and, you know, a little bit of the liquid until I had about a half a cup, so that works out great. I have a teaspoon of vanilla. I have 2 teaspoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. This is what's going to help bind the ingredients to thicken it up as the cheesecake cooks. You just throw all that into the blender Put the top on it and blend it till it's nice and smooth. Okay, so we blended this until it's nice and smooth, and all we need to do is pour it into the pie crust. Now that we have our cheesecake filling mixture all done, I'm going to go ahead and pour it into our prepared pie plate. Now we're going to go ahead and dress up this relatively plain cheesecake with a little bit of cherry pie filling. So just put a couple of dollops around, maybe 4, like so. And then you're just going to take your spoon and kind of, you know, just kind of keep slicing through it. You don't necessarily want to get it totally blended in because you want it to have a nice little ripple effect. But take your spoon, as I've just done, and you can see how it's nice and swirled in there. So this will fill up nicely. As this bakes, it's going to rise and it'll probably fill up the rest of the sides of this cake. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the oven, 350, for about 55 minutes, and it should be done. Hello, my kitchenettes. Well, we're on the home stretch of our cherry chocolate chip vegan cheesecake. So one of the things that I did that you didn't see before I put this in the oven is I went ahead and sprinkled some vegan chocolate chips on the top. So you'll have just a hint of the chocolate chips when you eat into the cheesecake. And now that the cheesecake is cooled for several hours in the refrigerator, I'm gonna go ahead and take more of that cherry pie filling that we had and just kind of spread a thin layer across the top to make the top of our cheesecake have a beautiful cherry filling like you see in, you know, any deli or anywhere that's serving or making a cherry cheesecake. You know, what's better than having some cherry, or, you know, you can make this with blueberry or pineapple. I love pineapple cheesecake. But this is as simple as pie, if you will. So basically that's it. This is done. This is our cherry chocolate chip vegan cheesecake. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut into that, and let's see what this looks like here. Remember, we made that really delicious crust with oat flour to give it a nice oatmeal crunch. And I think we are accomplishing that. Let me get a fork here. First slice is always the most difficult to pull out, but I think we're gonna do a good job. Wow, would you look at that? Look at that, folks. It looks really good and creamy. I'm gonna take a taste. Oh my God. This is delicious. You need to, even if you're not vegan, you need to make this one because it is amazing. Well, I'm gonna go find a corner to eat this and enjoy it. I hope you try it, and for God's sakes, wash your hands. Ciao.